Good afternoon, welcome to another episode with Hayden B. Grilling. Now tonight we're going to make a Mexican lasagna. It's very similar to that Mexican casserole that we made about a month back or so, but there's a few more ingredients. Still looks pretty simple and looks very good, so let's get started. Now in a bowl I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of New Mexico chili powder. And once you got those ingredients in a bowl, just mix them all in together. Now I've already got my ground beef in the skillet. Haven't turned the burner on yet, but I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the skillet. Then I'm gonna add those onions that we chopped up earlier. Now I'm gonna get my burner going. I'm going with a medium-high heat. Now that I have the ground beef and the onions in there, I'm going to go ahead and kind of mix all this in together. Next, I'm going to come in with that seasoning that we just mixed in together. Just kind of sprinkle that all over the meat here. And then just start working that all in together. Alright, so we just drained our ground beef. Now we're going to add in a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. Next, followed by a can of black beans. Now this recipe did say to add some corn, some frozen sweet corn to this, but the last couple recipes I've cooked that included corn didn't really taste as good, so we omitted the corn on this one. And once you get those ingredients in the skillet, you kind of stir it around, kind of get them well combined here. Then we're going to lower our heat down and let them cook. And while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and prep our next step here. Now while that beef mixture is cooking, we're going to come back with a 9x13 baking dish. And I'm going to pour me a little bit of enchilada sauce in there. There we go. Get a nice even mixture on the bottom. Once we have our enchilada sauce in the baking dish, we're going to come back with tortillas. Now I'm using corn. The recipe I found called for flour, but I just feel like the flour in this would get too soggy. So we're coming back with corn tortillas. Now we're gonna come back and we're gonna spoon about half of our beef mixture onto the tortillas. Now we're gonna come back with our corn tortillas on top of that. Kind of overlapping them perfectly fine. Now we're gonna come back with some more enchilada sauce. All right, I got my enchilada sauce fairly evened through here. About as even as I can get it, I reckon. Now this recipe calls for a total of 8 ounces of pepper jack shredded and 4 ounces of colby jack shredded. Now I do not have shredded pepper jack, nor do we have a shredder for cheese in here, surprisingly. But I'm going with mozzarella. And so I'm going to put me about 4 ounces worth on this layer here. Just kind of spread that along. Now with it calling for 4 ounces of colby jack, I'm just going to come back with roughly 2 ounces of the colby on here. Now that we have our cheeses spread in, we're going to come back with a can of green chilies. Just kind of spread them throughout. Now that I've got my green chilies on, we're going to come back with our remaining beef mixture here. Just kind of dump this on here, then spread it out. Now, we've got our beef mixture spread. We're going to come back with one more layer of tortillas. Now we're going to pour some more enchilada sauce on top. Kind of get as even as we can. Next, I'm going to sprinkle in the remainder of my mozzarella. Again, this should have been shredded pepper jack according to the recipe. Didn't have shredded pepper jack, so went with mozzarella. And then I'm going to come back with about another 2 ounces worth of colby jack. Just sprinkling that in across here. Next, I'm going to come in and just sprinkle a couple of little scallions over the top here. Kind of throughout the dish. No real uniformity to it. Add a little bit of color to it. Now the recipe I found did say that you could sprinkle in some olives right here, but we're not olive eaters in this house. So now this is ready. We're gonna put it in the oven at 425 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes or until the cheese is melted. All right, folks, so just pull it out of the oven. It's looking really good, smelling even better. We're gonna let it cool for just a little bit. Now, while I have it sitting there cooling, I'm just gonna take me a little bit of cilantro and just kind of spread it throughout the top of the dish. Randomly here. Just kind of add a little more of that green color into it. So here we go with the final product. Now, folks, all that's left is that all-important taste test. Folks, that is a lot of flavor, a lot of good flavor. Wow. The seasonings, the beans, the cheese, the corn tortilla, the tomatoes, black beans, and I'm saying tomatoes, and I don't even like tomatoes, but the black beans, the chiles, everything in this is amazing. Tastes really good. Really doesn't take that long. The longest part really is browning your ground beef, then making your lasagna. So this is a great meal for that weeknight when you need to hurry up and go, but very filling. And folks, this made a lot. It's just a 9 by 13 pan, but you know, you had the layers there for the lasagna. Makes a lot of food. Great little meal. That cilantro on top really sealed the deal too. But y'all, please let me know what you think about this video. Please try this. Let me know what you think about this. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all later.